Share screen. I'm sharing the promo. You should be able to see it now. Please tell me if you can see it.
There we go.
That's good.
Great.
And make sure to share your computer sound as well. So at the top, if you click the
Connor,
drop
you're
down.
always trying to get me to do technical things. You know I can't do technical things. So let's play this promo and hoping that everybody can hear it. Let's do this one more time. Take it away.
My name is Dr. Hume Johnson. I'm an expert in personal leadership, a brand consultant, and a professor of communication. For more than 20 years, I've been consulting with high-profile politicians, executives, and running workshops for organizations across the world. Let me tell you a bit about my story in the hopes that it might guide your own. Someone sent me a photo of a business card I'd given them maybe 20 years ago. When I looked at it, I didn't recognize who I claimed to be then. I was simply promoting services I did without a clue what unique value I was truly offering and what the client might even derive from their encounter with me. The truth is, I tied my personal brand to my job. So whatever role I occupied in the moment, whatever service I was delivering for whoever needed it. So as I changed jobs, my brand would of necessity change as well, and frequently. Some of you may recognize this. As soon as you change position, you change your header on LinkedIn. That's a telltale sign of someone not knowing what their value is and what their personal brand truly pivots around. For over 20 years, I've had a pretty disparate career in journalism as a TV presenter, producer, radio news reader, in politics as a consultant, political speechwriter, in entertainment as a brand consultant and publicist. In other words, I was all over the place. A Jane of all trades, so to speak, doing everything communication. And what a massive mistake that was. The result was that my career outlook was unfocused and, quite frankly, a mess. I knew I needed to gain clarity about what was a common thread in my career. Indeed, to work with smart, high-performing leaders, I also needed them to know with certainty what value I could offer. I can tell you, credentials and qualifications won't help you to get clarity. I had a doctorate, a master's, a bachelor's, and I still felt like a fish out of sea, going wherever the tide took me. I had to begin to work on my own personal brand, lean into my value, and leverage it to get where I wanted to be. Once I defined my brand and my value, owned it, walked around in it, I was able to clear the cobwebs and walk in my purpose. Want to make an impact? Own your value. Don't let the many gurus tell you to find a following and then you will have a compelling brand. A strong brand takes time, hard work, and has less to do with social media and more to do with your character, your competence, and your values. That is the currency you seek, not fleeting imagery and virtual friends. I leave you with this question. Do you know your value? The whole reason I run this masterclass is to help smart people to answer this question with certainty. If you want some guidance to own your value and level up in your career, you've come to the right place.
I'm cheering because it really, really resonated with me, Connor and Dana. There were lots, the LinkedIn comment was so funny. I started to laugh when I saw it first because I said, that is so true. That sounds like me. But here we are thinking we're smart. Hume, who are you looking? Congratulations, my friend. It has been a journey and a lot of hard work. I've actually taken Hume's course before, not this one, but I've done a class with her on personal branding, so I can comfortably say that she's very, very good. Who's your target? Tell me, who is your target audience?
Me. My target is me. And I say me because I resonate a lot with mid-career professionals. People, I am an employee at an institution, even while I run my own business and I do a lot of consulting work. But at the end of the day, I still go to a job and I am in the middle of my career, having graduated, did a master's, a PhD, and have been at it for more than 20 years or more than 25 years. And a lot of the clients I work with are in mid-career as well, and they're beginning to feel like they're in a bit of a rut. They're beginning to feel a lack of motivation, a lack of movement in their careers. Some of them, a lot of my clients, almost all of them are highly qualified people. Some of them have gone to very notable institutions, Harvard, to name just one, but they are also MBAs, they have degrees, they are lawyers, they are doctors. I even had one judge who is a client. And so these are folks who are smart people. They already seek education and qualifications. But one of the things I've learned over time, it doesn't matter what degree you have. The education system hasn't really taught us to communicate our value. It doesn't really tell us that we have to figure out what our human skills are, what our actual competencies are. The higher education system actually teaches us to acquire knowledge and acquire information, less so skill. So the person leaving college is qualified in the sense that they have a full sense of what their degree is about, but tangible skills, they're sometimes very unclear about what those are. They're also unclear about what their human skills are and how they can actually leverage those things in the workplace. And so the clients that I work with tend to be executives. Some of them are middle managers, some of them are top managers, and they want to kind of get clear about what their own personal brand is in order to advance their own career and also to lead their teams effectively.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Hume. I actually have a follow-up, but I really want to speak to Connor and Dana for all the work you put in. Interestingly, we came on a little before we went live, and when Connor came on, the introduction was meet Connor, Colleen. Connor is like the best videographer ever. And there was a silent acceptance by Connor, not full of himself, just this really quiet acceptance. And so, Connor, congratulations for the work you've done on this project.
Wonderful.
And I just want you to share with our audience just a little bit about the process for you. You were behind the camera. Tell us what that experience was for you and what it meant for you. I don't know what stage in your career you're at, but what did that mean for you? What were the messages you were getting as you videoed?
I love that question, Colleen. And I love the way you're hosting this too. That's just very thoughtful of you to notice that when you came in. I mean, I've been doing this course with Hume since December. We've been writing it for what feels like months just to make sure that it resonates. It's gone through numerous revisions and I've been one of the editors on it. So in a way, by creating it, I got to learn how to own my own value. And the timing is pretty proper, right? Because I just started my own business about 8 months ago, Studio Lewis, as you can see in the background. So in a way, owning my value is pretty core to the part of my life that I'm in. So I have a lot of takeaways from this. One of the biggest being that in order to own your value, you need to take stock of the way that you work, not just the skills that you add to a workplace. That's one of the things that Hume always reminds me of when I feel like I'm messing up or I did an edit wrong. She's like, oh, don't worry, sweetheart, because she says those things. And just like, it's okay because you delivered with so much cheer and you were there for those things. And it's just a constant reminder of the soft skills, which I really loved. The actual production of it was a full day affair. I was there early 8 a.m. one day and we had a makeup artist and food and we went all the way until 5 p.m. just filming this whole thing. So in this 1.5 hours is so many retakes and making sure that the message is delivered well and graphics and stuff for visual clarity. So
there were not
it's
many
wonderful.
retakes, though, one might say.
No, there weren't that many retakes. I can tell you've been on TV before, put it that way.
Good thing I'd been on TV before. Otherwise, it would probably been a 5-day affair.
Yeah, I agree.
But Connor came with his equipment, but then I know my subject as well. I know my subject, and so, but part of it is experience on TV, experience using a teleprompter, not feeling intimidated by a camera in front of you, and he also had, I had my assistant Hannah there as well. And then Connor had an assistant camera person as well, who I'd never met until that morning. So good thing I had experience focusing on what I need to do and what I need to deliver even while they're spinning around me doing what they need to do to make the production quality good. So that
And
helps.
on that note, I want to jump to you, Dana. Hume speaks about how excellent you are to work with. That's really, it's great working with people who acknowledge your own worth, because I think a part of that, just stating it, also helps us to own our value. So Dana, what was it like for you?
Well, I appreciate the collaborative effort, and I love how Hume takes this approach with personal branding more around really finding the uniqueness in you and how to express that, as opposed to how to be a social media influencer. And I, being an entrepreneur as well and seeing so many different messages around what personal branding is, it resonates very deeply with the message that Hume is out there talking about in the framework, and now that there's this course. And so it's been an amazing journey, a couple of years in the making, that we've been talking about this, and to see it all come to fruition, and the fact that she worked with a high quality caliber of talent with Connor's team, and just in this launch party, that she's not just doing it herself, but she's highlighting us as a team. And I think that really shows where she's coming from and how she values people. And that's been the experience of working in this really collaborative way with her all along. So I'm equally invested, I feel like, personally, just in this experience of working so closely with Hume.
Why would you recommend the course?
Why would I recommend? Well, just as I said, because I feel like she has such a beautiful way of pulling out and helping you find what really is unique about yourself that you may, take for granted or not even recognize. It's just like something you do every day, and realizing that that's really special. And actually, that's something that you should really step forward and lead with in terms of how you communicate. And I worked with Hume in a coaching capacity, and one of the things that she highlighted was my listening skills. And ever since then, it was like, oh yeah, I do listen. And then I kept receiving that feedback from clients, but I hadn't really connected that dot as something that is unique in how I offer my services and how I work with my clients. And I'm so grateful of that time and working with Hume, and just to appreciate not only the way that we were able to come to that and how she was able to, really highlight that for me. But now I see it so much more clearly with my clients. And now I've woven it into my own marketing and how I present myself. So I've definitely benefited not just from this process of collaborating on her course, but also working directly with her.
I'm glad
everything. I'm sorry, Hume, go ahead.
I was going to give some context to that conversation with Dana, because when she said that some of the things you do take for granted, some things about yourself that is valuable, that you don't own it and you don't attach it to the business imperative. And therefore, Dana was able to take that ability to listen and attach it to her business working with clients. Because when we met, I should say, Dana and I met on LinkedIn. I think we met on LinkedIn, right, Dana? It was on LinkedIn. She had bought my book, the brand new book. That's a small plug for the book. Another one coming out soon. But Dana had bought this book, and she had always commented on my posts on LinkedIn. And then we had a conversation about her working on her brand, and also she helping with my website at that time when I was trying to overhaul it. And it's interesting that we talk about owning certain parts of ourselves that we take for granted, because at the time I was talking about personal branding, but not within the context of leadership development. And it was in that branding exercise with Dana when she was asking me questions about my website and what messages I wanted to convey to my clients. And she said, but you've worked with leaders and you talk about leadership, but your messaging is not centering leadership. And it was like a ha-ha moment for me. A light bulb went off into, I literally spent the whole night overhauling everything from that moment. So I learn from my clients as well. And that is why I coach from an embodied experience where I'm experiencing it. Whatever I'm teaching is what I've learned, is what I've been through, in what I've interacted with clients and learned. And so we learn from each other.
Thank you. Thank you. My comment after Dana spoke was, I felt like the perfect marketing class. You know, when you talk about your brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. I think it's such an honor being in the room and hearing people speak so well about your brand as we speak about personal branding. So I wanted to go a little bit into what is it that the end user sees now when you come to the class? What are they expecting? We don't necessarily have to show anything, but just
because I'm so not a technical person, Connor would have to take over and open this website and show it, because I'm not even sure if I have it on my screen right now.
So just some things. You will do that, Connor? But we could, and in the meantime, Hume, you could probably talk about when the course opens, just to reiterate.
When the course has 3 parts to it. We call it level 1, level 2, and level 3, because I felt like you can't, most people when they're thinking about their personal brand, they're listening to all of the gurus and they start on social media. I believe that is the opposite. That's the incorrect pathway to building a strong personal brand. I think that's like putting on the roof of a house first. And obviously you can't put on the roof of a house first. It has to have something to sit on. So I believe that you needed the foundation of your personal brand. What is it made of? And if your personal brand, if the end goal is to own your value, then what is the foundation? And for me, that part, level 1, is when we're defining the key pillars of your personal brand and your value. What are the, I like to call it the assets, because you have currency, you have value. So what are the assets that you have that make up this value? So that's level 1. And then the student would progress to level 2. And level 2 would be, how do you now leverage each of these assets that you have from your human skills? And I'm not, when I say human skills, I'm meaning your personality traits, but you could have 5 great personality traits, but which one serves you well in the workplace? Which one serves you in business? Which of your personality traits would be a strength for you that you can actually use this and create impact in a particular space, whether it's a workplace or in your business? So tangibly leveraging those assets to solve problems for your employer, for your clients, for your customers, for whosoever you want to work with. And then level 3 for me, now this is the roof of the house. This is when you're actually trying to communicate your value, not just on social media, but in the spaces where you want to make an impact. It may be on paper, on your resume. It may be giving presentations at work. It may be communicating your value during a job interview. In whatever arena of your life that you need to communicate your value to get results, we help you to do that. So it's, you feel like my students love to say, I feel like I'm climbing a ladder, and it will be a ladder at the end of the day. If you're starting on social media, your only intention is to climb down, in my view, because
there must be something to sell.
You have to know your brand. You have to know what it sits on. You have to know the assets that you bring to the table, the value that you can deliver, and who you want to deliver this value to. And then you can communicate
that on social.
You can communicate that on social media or offline. Not everybody has to be on social media, but obviously that's the popular space to be. But you can bring a strong brand offline, because when we talk about people like Einstein, who we still talk about hundreds of years after their passing, they didn't exist in the time of social media.
How are we looking?
Good. Do you want me to share?
Yeah, we have like 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, so tactically, this course is very different from other online courses because it includes a community of peers that are also taking the course with you, where you can take feedback from them, you can share your growth with them. And as someone who is a social creature, and I'm sure we all are, it's very nice to share in that growth with other people and network. But probably most importantly is that I think course creators typically step away after they create a course. That's just my experience. I've taken a bunch of courses and you never really get access. But Hume has included both worksheets and tasks to complete after every lesson, where you go, you learn a lesson from Hume. There's a whole bunch of helpful visuals to help you, craft your own goals in this case. And then you would download these assets that actually give you something to take away and take home. And so you're not just watching content like you're watching Netflix, you're doing the work, you're putting the work in for your own brand. And then at the end of each level, so we've got the 3 levels that Hume talked about, you'd actually do a check-in with Dr. Hume. And you'd say, hey, here's how I've been progressing on my tasks. Here's where I think the foundation of my brand and value is. What do you think? And Hume would send over a video message to confirm that. And talk about her reactions to it, give feedback, as well as the community feedback. So there's this like catalyst of people chipping in to your brand that you're not going to get with another course. And then just, Hume being a professor came up with brilliant exercises that I
scare
love.
them away, Connor. We don't want to scare them away by saying a professor.
Would that scare them away? All right, fair enough.
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's the difference that this course brings, is it's a level up from a lot of courses in that you can talk to Hume, you can talk to your peers, and you can have something to take away.
So there will be there are 3 levels, but there will be live coaching sessions, because I find from doing the group workshops with executives that the feedback is good. It is very important to do the course on your own and then attend the live coaching sessions, because you would have had time to reflect on what your goals are, what your skills are. And then when you come to the live sessions, then you can get more personal in terms of what your skills are. And then we can actually coach you into how to navigate that, how to leverage it.
I'm doing this, Connor, because we're still at a party, so I want to play a game.
Oh, yeah?
You are the master instructor. The 3 of us are your students, and I want you to pretend we're in your class. Ask us a question, no matter how difficult, and we'll attempt to answer as we attempt to own our value.
Rapid fire, let's go.
What do you think is the biggest asset that you bring to the table in your industry?
Starting with Connor.
Strongest asset that you bring to the table in your niche. What is your niche, by the way? Tell us what your niche is.
Yes, well, as you can imagine, I do videos specifically for tech companies, B2B tech companies. I think from a skills perspective, my strongest asset is my writing. I'm a journalist at heart. I went to journalism school. I love to write. And from a soft skills perspective, I like to think that I'm good at taking a lot of different perspectives and fusing it into one, because I'm dealing with a lot of people in the business, marketers, salespeople, product people, and I've got to please them all. I think I'm pretty good at ingesting all of that. How about you, Dana?
Well, you see, before you throw it to Dana, the fact that you started by saying that you do video, and then you said writing was your strongest asset. You didn't tell us why. You didn't give us an example. So if I was listening to this conversation, I didn't know you, but I wanted to hire you. And I'm like, oh, his strongest asset is writing. I wouldn't leave very convinced, because you tell me, but I don't believe it. Why don't I believe it? Because I didn't get any evidence that you brought to the table. So in terms of communicating that value, I would have dug a little deeper lean into that writing bit. Why do you say that you're an excellent writer? Why do you say you're an excellent writer, and what value would that bring to others?
That's good feedback.
Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, you're right.
Thank you. That's good feedback.
Introduce the ethos, right?
So you don't have to answer. We don't have to put you on the spot. Let's move
Oh,
on.
I don't want to take any more time,
All right, Dana.
I'm nervous now. I'm glad you went first, but now I'm not so sure. So I am in the web design world. I work with solopreneurs and small businesses. And I would say my greatest asset is working with business founders, with inspired folks that have started businesses and really pulling their message from the inside out. And that's what's ultimately communicated on the website. And I do that through deep listening. I ask a lot of questions and I really listen to what they're saying. And also, I'm very cognizant of the relational aspects of things. And so I think that part of listening is also connecting dots. And similar to Connor, working with, multiple people that may be involved, or it's multiple systems and really trying to find what's going to create the most ease at the end of the day. So it's about a website, but it's really more than that. It's really about just building a foundation for the business.
So Dennis really schooled on this, because I remember those terms, connecting the dots, because when we did our branding exercise, listening was this big asset. We had dug deep into how do you communicate that, said bring it ins and outs, and I would have jumped in right there. I don't understand what you mean, you bring it in and out. And she says, I do this by listening. And then she shows you what the value of that is. And so Dennis cheated a little bit because she's done this before.
I'm a little rusty though. That was like 2 years ago. So
That's
I'm glad that it
true.
came back.
I was very impressed with how coherent and articulate you were in conveying that a while ago. I was very impressed because this exercise was literally 2 years ago.
She's a good student.
Very good student.
And I'm the
impressed.
best student because I just dug myself out because we're 1 minute away from closing.
Oh, we started 2 minutes late, so we have a couple of minutes.
You sneak. I see you.
We
I
actually
want to hear what you do.
Yeah, yes. What do you do, Kalina? What was your experience doing personal branding with me?
So I think Hume was speaking about me. I'm that quintessential mid-career professional who does a lot of things. I write, I do public relations, I do some marketing, I do a lot of events coordination, everything. So when I was doing the course, it was actually very emotional for me. I felt strongly that I suffer from imposter syndrome and not even clear on what my strengths are. And she was able to pull a lot of things that made me very uncomfortable with myself where I was. And it really allowed me to pause. So like you, Connor, one of my strengths is writing. I write very well. And I'm very invested in arts and culture. And I'm keen on the topic. So if you're using me for any kind of public relations or publicity, I am able to do good research. I'm able to connect. I know that person, I make good connections. And so I'm able to pull that together, my own knowledge and my ability to do research. So that brings some strength to me as a writer, as a public relations professional.
What human skill do you think you bring to the table in your industry? Because in public relations has to do with building relationships. So which human skill do you think you draw on that really helps you to navigate interpersonal relationships?
My love of people.
To the PR industry.
I really love people, and I keep connected. I connect with them and I don't move away. So
I understand all of that, but what's the human skill that you're drawing on to connect with people?
I just spoke Jamaican, by the way. What's the human skill in that?
Which human skill do you use? Is it your friendliness? Is it your openness? Is it your, I mean, yes, you love people, but which skill? It is so important to know yourself sufficiently. Okay, so there's one guy I worked with who said, even if I don't get this job, I've never felt more comfortable doing an interview, because you shouldn't have to study canned responses from the internet. You should be able to have a conversation about yourself because you're so in tune with what your assets are. Not everything, but at least a top 3. I always go with a top 3 set of assets that you must know about yourself, so that if somebody says, tell me about yourself, then you're pretty confident with articulating that.
Thank you. I have to do the course, you realize. So Connor, I think Dana might have gotten 90%. Connor, you're close. You're at 85. I'm still in the 70s, so I need to do the course. Hume, it has been my pleasure being here. I am really honored to have been included. It's great to meet you, Connor, Dana, and Hume. I'm going to leave the last words to you. What do you say to the public? Just some reminders of when the course is starting, where to find you on all social media platforms, because I know we're on Facebook. But
Yes.
let's just send some info out and some love to
First, I have to acknowledge a couple of people who are not here who really helped. My assistant Hannah. I mean, Hannah is such a roller coaster of fun, and I'm sorry she's not here. But Hannah was very instrumental in helping me. My friend Maggie really helped during several sections of the production, and Kiva out of Trinidad. Kiva can't make it today, but Kiva has been very good with my email marketing stuff, which I really appreciate having a team of people to work with. Now, I have been promoting the course on social media. If you want to get on my email list, I'll post it on Facebook. But if you look into the details of this chat, you will see the link to subscribe to our email list so you can get access to resources, tips, information, knowledge about the course as well. In terms of the, what was the question again? What was the other question? I'm not hearing you. I think you're
Sorry, I'm muted.
What was the other
Access to the course and when it opens.
Oh, the course, you can access it by Hume Johnson, humeuniversity.com. And that's across all my social media. I'm on Twitter at Dr. Hume Johnson. I'm on Instagram at Dr. Hume Johnson. People are following me on Facebook already here. Yes, humeuniversity.com. The course is available there. It is $1,000 US, but we're giving a 20% discount to the first 20 people who enroll in the class. The course is for people who are already in their career. Even if you have a degree and you already think you know what your brand is, most times we don't. And that is why I have the high caliber people, smart, educated, qualified leaders that still join this course because they want to actually be able to confidently and with clarity focus their career and be able to communicate their value and access opportunities. Let's admit David Prendergast. David is a diplomat for the government of Jamaica, and he's late, but better late than never. And David has been one of my clients in the past, so maybe we should give David the last word.
Oh,
Hi,
we're
David.
on. Hello. Why am I not seeing my?
We're quite live. I think you should go to where your camera is and just shift the lock at the top.
Yeah.
Nobody's technically savvy.
Oh well.
Of course, doesn't this. You'll sort it, David. You're on. We're seeing a black screen right now. We're not clear where you are, but we were just about to close this party, so we're giving you the last word to talk about your experience doing this course with me and why you've decided to do it again.
Okay, well, the last experience was for a specific, the last course was for a specific.
We'd prefer to see you. We'd prefer to see you though, David.
Yes, I'm trying to, I don't know why it's.
Your camera, I don't think your camera is on, David.
It's actually on. Yeah.
So above the camera on the computer, just shift that little.
Let me just sign out and I'll sign in again. Yeah.
The Hume is laughing. See, mine is off. No, it's
oh
off.
yeah.
There we go.
Oh, there you are, David.
Okay.
So one of the things I wanted to say, and Connor mentioned it, but I wanted to repeat it, is that this is not the usual personal branding course online where you go off and do it on your own. Yes, you do have to do the exercises and you do all of that independently, but intermittently throughout your process, we will have live coaching events, live Q&A sessions where you get to ask questions, you get to experience what I do with executives when I do group coaching, so that you're not just answering questions on your own without feedback. You can join other participants who are doing the course as well. You can write questions on the messaging board in the community. So you will see when you enroll, you'll see the online course, the Personal Branding Masterclass, and you will also see the OYV, which is Own Your Value Community. You can sign up for free in the community so that while you're doing the course and you're doing your exercises, if you have a question, you can write it on the message boards, and I'm happy to respond to those. And I will also schedule live events where students doing the course can interact with each other together, and you can collaborate with each other. You can get access to me as well. And I think that's one of the selling points. I think that's one of the better parts of this experience, that you have the same experience as if you were in person. Yes, David. Thank you so much for joining. I know you're a very important person.
No, not because of that. I was.
I would like you to introduce you to my team here. This is my friend Dana. Dana is a web designer, and this
Hi,
is
Dana.
Connor Lewis from Studio Lewis, and he is behind the entire filming, production, editing, because Connor is a very good.
Hi, Connor. I've heard a lot about you. Yes.
All good stuff, I
And
hope.
this is Colleen
Yes.
Douglas. I'm surprised you haven't met Colleen before. Colleen works at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts as a marketing person and very involved in the regular industry.
You've talked a lot about Colleen too.
So would you share with the Facebook audience your experience doing personal branding coaching with me? Tell us who you are and why you felt you needed personal branding coaching, and how it has been for you, and do you recommend it?
Well, I am David Prendergast, and I am an international civil servant and a public servant.
What does that mean?
Just what it means. There is a category of or a diplomat, and at points in your career you plateau or you realize that you need to up it to another level. So that's what when I sought you out based on your videos, which were compelling, I sought you out for a specific reason, which materialized after the coaching, because what you did was to bring out the authentic side or your authentic personality, not by imposition, but through questioning and through determined focus and exchanges with the client. So that was something that I found particularly useful when we were going through our sessions. And this round of this masterclass seems to be taking it to another level, and which I think there's a lot in store, perhaps, to bring out in a more deliberate way aspects of your personal brand and leadership skills. And I look forward to working with you and the team, the group, in doing.
Let me just share something. What David was saying was that when we worked together, he was seeking a particular specific goal at that time.
Yes.
And so we were, for want of a better expression, we were a bit tunneled, which is not how I like to coach people.
Yes.
I like when we go in and you don't try to steer me in a particular direction. I like when we take off and we don't know where the plane is going to land.
So I pigeonholed you. So I literally pigeonholed.
Maybe not the best analogy right now, but
yes.
you need it. I mean, I appreciate when people come in with a goal. I encourage you having a goal because we need to know where you're going. But at the same time, We want to know, yes, you want this particular job, but there could be so many other arenas where your skills take you if you're open to that. So I want people to come in. Yes, you may want a particular position in your organization or elsewhere. And yes, you can be focused on that. But I also want you to think 5 years, 10 years down the road. Are you walking in your purpose? What else could you do that you haven't thought of? So
I think you wanted David to respond, or we're going to wrap?
we can wrap. David, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. I think I think all that could be said have been said. For those who want to join our email list, it's more than, we're not going to sell you the course. We're going to give you insights into what personal branding should really be about. Information, helpful advice that have helped me in my career, because I thought I didn't need personal branding when I was busy branding other people. I didn't think I needed it. I was busy doing a doctorate, and I'm going to be a doctor. And so I don't need it. And then it turned out that I didn't have a compass. I didn't know what my direction was. And sometimes when we get stuck in these jobs, we get complacent. And I think that everybody has a personal brand already, but everybody has value, and not everybody's value is being used to its full potential. So this course, we want you to get clear on what your assets are and give you the freedom to explore. You don't have to stay where you are. I'm not branding people to stay where they are. You can stay in the same space, but you have to be moving either laterally or vertically, but you can't be staying stuck. And I think that's a good point to end on. Colleen, you're the host.
I just remembered. So thank you very much, Hume. Thank you, Connor, Dana, David. We need to celebrate this moment because we've just done a big thing after months of early morning wake-ups, and really to be sharing in this experience. So
thank you so much, Colleen, for answering the phone. For hearing me out. And Dana knows how anal I am already, and Connor, so they have survived, and you already know you are good. You answer the phone any time of the day or night. So, and it's all been good in terms of bringing, because when you have something that you want it to be excellent, I think you have to be a little anal. I saw a little typo today in an email that we sent out. And Dana, of course, I didn't freak out entirely, but I was disappointed because social media, you can correct a typo. I don't care as much, but on an email, which is professional, I think that it's hard. You can't change it. You can't take it back. I would like to represent quality in all aspects of my brand.
Thank you, ma'am. Congratulations. We have our drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, Hume.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Hume. I know you've worked a lot on this. And at some point you appeared to be freaking out, although you're trying to remain calm.
Yes, I was freaking out towards the end. I know. It felt really stressful towards the end, but I guess all good things are like that. You always a little bit of pressure at the end. And pressure is good. That's how they say diamonds are made, right?
Yes.
So,
or pearls, like an oyster.
Or pearls, right?
Yes.
So, but we are pleased. I think all in all, we are pleased with the quality of the product that we have put out. And I'm sure that people who enter the course as well, and the people who have done work with me privately in my group coaching sessions and in this course will come away. We're not just trumping, what do you call it, tooting our own horn. This is from my own experience and other people's experience during this course. It's not a waste of time or a waste of money.
David should have, Connor rather, ask you to take us out with the promo video. I'm afraid to ask you, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Is
Yes.
it on your screen so that we can just leave it as the last thing when someone jumps on the Facebook later? This time you'll share both screen and sound?
If I share my screen, you mean if we could find it? If we could literally
No,
find
I
it.
actually want you to find it and then you share.
All right, let me find it first.
Hume, I'm there. I have it. Do you want me to
Oh,
share
perfect.
Sure.
it? I got there. All right, I'm going to share the other promo, Hume, the one that details what the course is exactly.
Okay.
Okay, great. So bye, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Hume. Thanks, Dana. Thank you, Connor. And thanks, David. It's been
Well,
my
if we
pleasure.
log off, will we still hear? Will we still see
No,
it?
man, we're just saying bye. When we're finished with the video, we log off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Hume Johnson, a personal branding consultant and leadership coach and your instructor of this course. In this video, I want to walk you through exactly what this course looks like, what you're investing in. This is not an online course where I abandon you to do all the learning yourself. Instead, this course includes a community of people who are chasing the same goal as you. And I have built-in checkpoints whereby I will give you feedback on your progress. Here's what that will look like. Following each lesson, you'll be given an exercise. These are important for helping you to define your personal brand and own your value. If you're willing, you'll then share your exercise results with other people enrolled in our course. This requires a bit of vulnerability on your part, but will provide a ton of value. I'll also weigh in on posts shared to the community. There are also big checkpoints at the end of each chapter where I'll ask you to email me some of your work so far. I'll review the material personally with a video, providing you with coaching as you continue your journey. The idea behind all of this is not to leave you alone. You'll have a community to be your accountability partner, me to keep you on the right path, and loads of premium content and exercises to hone your brand. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope to see you in class.
Thank you, everybody. See you on the inside.
Bye.
Bye. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.